Gary, and 1 second.
Welcome. We are at Naval Base Kitsap in Bremerton, Washington, with the return of Armed Forces Wrestling Championships. This traditional, outstanding wrestling competition held annually between the branches of the Armed Forces has not been held since 2020 due to the pandemic and other factors, but we're real excited to revive a great tradition in the sport of wrestling. We'll be seeing Greco-Roman wrestling today, the first of 2 days of competition here. Glad to be able to bring you guys all the action live on a live stream. It's being streamed live by Armed Forces Sports on their YouTube channel. And we'll be watching dual meets. The first dual meet of the day will be the Air Force against the Navy. The Navy team this year also has some athletes from the Coast Guard as well as the U.S. Marine Corps. And number of athletes here have wrestled in this tournament in the past, but we're going to see a lot of first-time Armed Forces Championships athletes. Obviously, a couple years off, and we have some new people that are competing for the branches. A lot of pride at stake here, and Greco-Roman, which is one of the two Olympic styles, there's no touching or using your legs. It's upper body wrestling, but it also happens to be a specialty of the armed forces. So here we go with the start of the 2023 Armed Forces.
Greco-Roman against Air Force versus the Navy. The Air Force team is coached by Scott Boykin. The Navy team is coached by
Getting introductions here.
The first match today will be at 60 kilograms, or that's 132 pounds. From the Air Force will be Airman First.
And here we go, 60 kilograms, first match of the day. Mitch Brown of the Air Force will be wrestling Colton Davis from the Navy. Mitch Brown, he's stationed at the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs. He's from Payson, Utah. Colton Davis was Naval Station Rota in Spain, and he's originally from Lincoln, Illinois. And so here we go. Right off the bat, you'll see that the Air Force is wearing the red singlets, and the Navy is in blue. Early pummeling here to see who can get in the best position. You'll notice in Greco-Roman that this is a lot of positional wrestling, where you try to get control and tie-ups and get your athlete pretty much unbalanced so that you can make an attack. And right now Brown is controlling the action, and we're seeing Davis go back a little bit. The official is kind of cautioning and giving some warning that these guys need to pick it up a little bit. Brown gets down in a front headlock, spins around, and we see the first takedown of the championships. Brown scores 2 points, 2-0 lead, and then he does a gut wrench to make it 4-0. One more gut wrench and it's 6-0. And Mitch Brown of the Air Force jumps to a quick 6-0 lead. You get to 8 points in Greco-Roman and it's a technical fall. So at this point, Brown only needs 2 more points and he can end this match early. Again, Brown seems to be controlling the pummel. Arm throw by Brown. He gets 4 for that. And that right there will be a technical fall. Davis rolls through, and we've got Air Force winning the first match, a 10-0 tech fall in the first period for Mitchell Brown. So the Air Force gets 4 points for that victory, and they lead 4-0. Now we're going to move up to one more weight class, 63 kilograms. Competing for the Air Force is Sidney Flores, and also wrestling for the Navy is Sheldon Ely. Flores is with LAAFB. He's out of West Covina, California. And Ely is at Naval Air Station, Whidley Island, Washington. And he's originally from Newark, New Jersey. So here we are. Air Force leads the duel 4-0. Technical fall in the first match. Flores, I've had an opportunity to see him compete in college. He competed on the varsity team at the Air Force Academy. Tries to get double underhooks. Ely's got some pretty good strength in his pommel, so it'll be interesting to see who can score first here. Now Flores, who wrestled folk style in college, obviously is learning the two international styles. Freestyle is much closer to the American collegiate style, but again, the Armed Forces, the Greco-Roman is a specialty. We've got a warning from the mat official, trying to pick up the action here. The last Armed Forces Greco-Roman Championships back in 2020, the Air Force placed third and the Navy was fourth. We have a passivity call right here against Ely. Flores will get a point and will be on top, and that will give him a 1-0 lead. Now Flores will line up and put his hands on Ely's back, and there he goes. He's going to try to get a turn from the parterre position, and he gets a gut wrench. That's 3-0. Okay, another one. That's 5-0. Another gut wrench, 7-0, and that's it. He just knocked him off with a 9-0 tech fall for the Air Force. Flores takes care of that match. And now Air Force is leading the dual meet 8-0. Get 4 points for a tech fall and classical points. 2 matches to 0 for the Air Force. Now we move up to 67 kilograms. This is now 67 kilograms. Wrestling for the Air Force, Evan Rudisil. And then wrestling for the Navy is going to be Leandro Rodriguez. Wow, that's a quick throw. Rodriguez. Is able to score the takedown and get a 2-0 lead. And a nice gut wrench makes it 4. Let's go 6. Blew the whistle on that. And we're at 6-0. Rodriguez is from Buckley Air Force Base. Buckley Space Force Base, excuse me. Competitor from the Space Force from Elkhart, Indiana. And he finishes off an 8-0 tech fall. That would be for the Navy, gets on the scoreboard. And so Air Force now leads the duel 8-4. So we've got 3 quick technical falls here. So we have Brenner Volgan, who's with the Air Force at 72, up against Colton Rashi, who actually is a Marine, is wrestling here on the Navy team. Volgan is in Vandenberg SFB, and he's originally from Salina, Kansas. And Rashi, he's at Camp Pendleton in California with the Marine Corps, and he's a native of Aurora, Illinois. Rashi has competed in this event for the Marines in the past, and Vogan's able to force a step out, which is worth 1 point. If you step your foot outside of the big ring, it's a point to the other opponent. Vogan counters, gets a takedown. So nice 3-0 lead here for Brenner Vogan of the Air Force. We're a minute into the first period. You go 2 3-minute periods in international wrestling. There's no overtime, so if it's tied at the end of the match, there's tie-breaking criteria. We haven't had to mess with that so far because our first 3 matches have been technical falls. which is basically 8 or more point lead, and they stop the match. In boxing, they probably call it a TKO, but Rashi tries an arm throw, slip throw, which means no points are awarded. They don't penalize Rashi for taking a risk on that one. Vogan got off to a nice start. Air Force wants to get back the momentum they had from their last start there. Another push out for Vogan. Oh, caution in 1. 1 second. Officials. Caution blue, 1 red. So that makes it 4-0. Basically, they are saying Rashi was not competing. It was fleeing the hold. So they get that point additionally. So you get 3 cautions and you're thrown out of the match. So you don't want to get cautions if you can avoid it. But right now, Vogan with a 5-0 lead. And we got 50 seconds left in this first period. You may notice some of the noise coming from both benches. These teams take great pride in their service, but also as members of the U.S. Armed Forces, there's great respect here. Vogan again gets a little energetic on the edge, is able to force a step out, and then that gives us a 6-0 lead by Vogan. Rashi attempts a throw. It's blocked. Nothing there, missed throw. Vogan needs just 2 points to get a technical fall. Rashi's going to keep going for that arm spin. And right now, he still has a chance to continue the move. Vogan counters, hops over the top, and we've got an 8-0 technical fall here for the Air Force, which will now make it a 12-4 team score. Air Force is leading. Going pretty quick through this dual meet. So Alex Saylor will be wrestling for the Air Force, 77 kilos, up against Timothy Worthen from the Navy. Saylor is from LA Air Force Base. He's from Mendota, Illinois. And Worthen, he's a U.S. Coast Guard station, Marathon, Florida. So he's a Coast Guard competitor. He's originally from Yulee, Florida. So again, the Navy team has a couple different branches in it. And obviously the Air Force not only has Air Force, but they have Space Force personnel on their team. So this year, although we have 3 teams competing, we have 6 branches represented. It's pretty cool. Today we're going to see some women's freestyle as well. The men's Greco-Roman will be the focus of the day, but they're going to have some women's freestyle matches, 3 weight classes of competition in women's freestyle as part of Armed Forces Championships. It's a 1 weight class with 1 athlete from all 3 branches. So the women's division is growing here, not only around the country at all levels, but also here in the Armed Forces Championships. Looking forward to seeing some of that as well. Right now, neither athlete has been able to score. Saylor and Worthen trying to work for position. They probably won't go very long here if they don't score without a passivity coming into play. The officials have the ability to penalize someone for not being active. And right now it's Worthen that gets hit first with a passivity. 1 point to Saylor. Saylor's going to take the top position in parterre, place his hands on and see if he can lock up a turn. Kind of interesting, guy named Saylor wrestling for the Air Force. That probably gets a lot of jokes from some of the people he's serving with, right? Anyway, Saylor, nice. Gut wrench. Takes a 3-0 lead here. So we have sailor wrestling against a sailor. All right, enough of that. 3-0 lead. Alex Sailor against Timothy Worthen. Sailor working him over towards the edge. Nice circle in by Worthen. Air Force has gotten to a nice early start here. They've won 3 of the first 4 matches. 33 seconds to go in this first period. See if somebody can get a point or two before the end of this period. This will be the first match that goes the whole way and goes to the break. That shows how dominant the early bouts have been. But Sailor Worthen seems to be a pretty good battle here. Headlock attempt by Worthen doesn't get anywhere. Sailor blocks it. And we go to the break with a 3-0 lead. Alex Sailor of the Air Force is leading Timothy Worthen of the Navy here at 77 kilograms. There are 10 weight classes in international wrestling. Neither one of these teams in this duel had anyone in the 55 kilo, so we're going to see 9 matches in this duel. And 3-0 lead. They're going to flip it to the second period. And now we're going to the second period. Let's see whether Worthen is going to come with a different approach after visiting with his coaches, Coach Delapina, during the break. What makes this tournament so fun is not only the fact that these guys are excellent athletes, but they're serving our nation. And a lot of them have interesting jobs in the military, come from different diverse backgrounds. We see athletes from all over the country that come into the armed forces and represent their branch, but obviously all the time they're representing our nation. We have a passivity. 1 point goes to Worthen. Sailor's going to go down at parterre. 3-1 is the score now. On the whistle, Worthen works a front headlock. Oh, nice turn. That was quick. 3-3 tie. Sailor still has the lead if there's a tiebreaker, though. Sailor steps over a gut wrench and is trying for a fall. So we got 2 points on the reversal, but then there was a leg foul that blocks it. So see the score 5-0. Sailor blocking that and there we are. They get the explanation from the chairman. Leg foul was after the 2-point reversal. So they just break the position and put people back up. But this puts Sailor back with a 2-point lead. This has been our most competitive match of this dual meet so far. Obviously, Worthen's come out in the second period and been able to score some points. We saw that he had a nice turn in parterre. But Sailor, with that slick reversal, takes a 2-point lead. Worthen, he fakes kind of a throw, but asking Sailor to open things up. Greco-Roman is upper body wrestling, and as this sport continues to develop, they have different ways that they interpret the sport. And right now they're in a phase where they want athletes to be standing chest to chest and battling up. They don't want blocking or leaning over, which is similar to how they wrestle in freestyle or folk style. So these guys have to battle upper body, and they'll hear about it if they start blocking with their head or bending over to block positions. 35 seconds to go. Sailor holding a 2-point lead. He works his way to the edge. Arm throw attempt. Oh, you got a caution in 2. So they're going to make sure that they have the scoring correct. Now, if Sailor blocked, that's going to be, it's a caution in 2 position, then that's how they're going to go. It would tie this thing up. But officials are getting their caution red to blue, makes it 5-5. And that gives Worthen the lead. He was trailing at the break, but now he's taken over the lead for the first time in the match with just 34 seconds to go. So this will be a big win for the Navy if Worthen's able to hold on to this lead. Sailor's working in, trying to get a lock, see if he can get a throw. 10 seconds to go. Worthen holding position. It looks like we're going to work this through. A win for Navy. Well, 1 second to go, and there was a break here. Not sure exactly what that was about. Now, was that a third caution? So that was 5-5 score, but with 1 second to go. 5-5 score. A victory for the Navy. And that changes the lead here to 13-7 for the Air Force. We're at 82 kilos now. Sam Adams. I know a beer by that name, by the way. Sam Adams is competing for the Air Force. His opponent, Anthony Edson, is the Navy at 82. Adams, Ellsworth Air Force Base. He's from Cocoa City, West Virginia. His opponent, Edson, he's from Naval Base San Diego, California, originally from Providence, Rhode Island. We're 20 seconds into the match, no score. Adams tries to get under, knocks him up. Nice body lock during a scramble. 2-point takedown for Sam Adams. Up 2-0 right now. Air Force has held the lead here throughout the beginning of the match, but Navy's made a couple nice victories here and trying to tighten it up. Edson's able to win this match. We're going to have a real exciting finish here. We got 3 more matches after this battle. First 4 matches were all technical falls, but these matches here are a little bit closer for sure. Edson with the underhook, gets Adams to the edge. They go out of bounds. 1 point to Adams. Makes it 3-0. Sam Adams leading Anthony Edson 3-0 here in Greco-Roman wrestling. Adams locks up. They're both in the under-over. Nice lock there by Adams. And he does a hip toss. There was a leg foul, an offensive move there that was not allowed. So there's no points there. back to their feet. Again, you can't use or touch the legs as you execute your holds here in Greco-Roman. So there was no penalty, but that move does not count. Nice little duck under. Wow, he dropped his levels and got underneath and scored a takedown. So we're 5-0 with 1:10 to go in the first period. Sam Adams of the U.S. Air Force Academy, or U.S. Air Force team. He's actually at Ellsworth Air Force Base. He's leading his match. Edson, he's trying to get some underhooks and get that upper body position. Double underhook right now. That's a powerful position. And he hips him. They go out of bounds. 4 points. Wow. I told you that was a strong position. The cool part about it is Edson was able to get 4 out of it. That tightens this match up big time. 39 seconds to go here in the first. Edson. Nope, that was a missed throw, so there's no points on that maneuver. The athletes are encouraged to take risk, and if they're not able to get a throw, unless they're countered, they just call it a missed throw. Edson tried to catch a headlock from a defensive spot, but was unable to do that. Adams goes behind, gets a takedown, and we've got a 7-4 lead as we go to the break. So Sam Adams 7, Anthony Edson 4. Adams with the Air Force. Air Force right now is leading the team duel. Coach Scotty Boykin talking to Adams in the corner there, trying to keep him ahead on this match. He had a good start. Edson came back strong with a 4-point throw. You want to see those high amplitude throws where people get thrown through the air to their back. That's what makes Greco-Roman so exciting. But, you know, obviously, the better wrestlers you have, the better defense are. They're not going to see it unless they're really excellent in their technique. But Adams took the early lead and continues the lead here. Edson's been very aggressive with his pummel. Adams being warned about keeping his head down. Again, Greco-Roman, there's a focus right now on making sure that athletes wrestle, you know, without burying their head to block. So, attempted throw by Edson, blocked by Adams for 2. Obviously, Edson, who got a throw earlier, knows he needs to put some points on the board, but in that case, Adams was able to defend and get 2-point takedown out of it. Still a lot of time left, 2:20 to go, and Edson's already proven he can get big points if he's able to get one of his holds. Looks like we had a step out over there. That's 1 point to Edson, 9-5, tightens the lead a little bit. 2 minutes to go. Arm throw attempt. Adams comes around behind. He's been very good at taking advantage of any errors that Edson makes. And we go to an 11-5 lead. We're here at Naval Base Kitsap, 2023 Armed Forces Wrestling Championships. You're seeing Greco-Roman, which is one of the 2 Olympic styles of wrestling. If all you've seen is high school or college wrestling, these styles are different. This is what they do worldwide. It's the kind of a style you'll see in the Olympic Games and at the World Championships. 11-5 lead. Adams. Arm throw attempt, Edson. Adams counters. Gets behind, it's 13-5. That's 8 points. So that's a 13-5 technical fall. Okay, so Air Force gets 4 points onto that. I got 17-8. Yep, we're going up to 87. Air Force sends out Angel Romo. This is 87 kilograms, and Austin Craig is with the Navy. Romo is from Mountain Home Air Force Base, originally from Hemet, California. Austin Craig is stationed in Seattle, Washington. He's originally from Monroe, North Carolina. Craig, we've seen him compete in this event many times, even though the last time we had this tournament was 2020. He was competing at that time. We got a 2-point takedown for Craig. Basically a little bit of a counter. Romo unable to complete his attempt. Craig takes the early lead. Looks like we've got a little bit of an injury situation. Nope. Craig's kind of walking it off. Official checks to make sure that Craig is okay, ready to go, and here we go again. Romo trying to get the 2-on-1 position, work for control. Craig standing right in there. He's pretty confident in his pommel. Got 2 minutes left in this first period. Got the U.S. Air Force against the U.S. Navy, the first round of our 3 dual meets in Greco-Roman here at the Armed Forces Championships. Craig looks to get a lock for a possible throw. You'll see Romo, he's got a big USA Wrestling logo on the back of his shoulder. Passivity here. Craig is going to get a point there and be in the top position. So 1 point on the passivity, parterre, which is ground wrestling, if you know your French. And there he goes. Works a get a gut wrench lock. Works it over for a 2-point turn. Second gut wrench for Craig. One more for Craig. And we got a 9-0 tech for Navy. That tightens this up. 17-12 is what I see from my scoring here. Navy's been hanging tough in this dual meet. We're heading to the last 2 matches. Air Force holds the lead. Now at 97 kilograms, Eric Santos is wrestling for the Air Force against Sean Heist from the Navy. Santos from Seymour Johnson Air Force Base. He's originally from Hemet, California as well. 1 point goes to Sean Heist of the Navy. He's stationed in Yokosuka, Japan, originally from Allentown, Pennsylvania, which is a great wrestling town if you know your wrestling. Santos, that's a 4-point move for Santos. 4-0 is the score here. Ooh, nice body lock by Heist. 2 points. He's got himself in the front headlock position, and he rolls him through twice. 6-4 now for Heist, and he gets one more. Man, that's a powerful front headlock. Heist was trailing, but he's got a 10-4 lead now. 6 points. You're real close to a technical fall. That was some great wrestling on top by Sean Heist of the Navy. This will make this a real interesting finish here. Navy's able to win a second straight match. Arm throw. Oh, this is going to be at least a technical fall. But Heist has a chance to go for the fall, and we get a pin. Pin for the Navy. That's worth 5 points. This dual meet will not be determined until heavyweight. That's the way you like it around here. You see how much competitiveness these teams have. So we're going to have this determined in the final match of the day. We got the big boys coming out. This is 130 kilos. That's 286 max. So these guys are in the upper twos. Wrestling for the Air Force, Donald DeGarmo. He also is Seymour Johnson Air Force Base. He's out of Newton, New Jersey. Jersey boy. His opponent, Courtney Freeman. He's actually a Marine from Camp Lejeune. DeGarmo lifts and throws Freeman for 4 points. Well, they had a 5 on the mat and a 2 and another gut wrench. And that's it. Courtney Freeman gets the big 8-0 technical fall. According to me, this dual meet is going to the Navy. 1, 2, 3, 5 wins for the Navy. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the Navy wins the dual meet. Congratulations, man. This was a nice dual meet.
Senior Airman Haley Franich versus Coast Guard Petty Officer 3rd Class Joselicia Ramirez.
I have it at 22-17 for the Navy. But a nice victory by Freeman in that last match. Turns the corner. The whole match, Air Force had the early lead.
Correction of that, the first match will be at 53 kilograms, 116 pounds.
So we're going to 53 kilograms now.
Versus from the Navy, Gold.
Yep, so here we go. U.S. Army, Aaliyah Gold at 53 kilograms against Mariah Anderson of the U.S. Air Force. Gold, she's based in Fort Carson at the World Class Athlete Program. Taking a little break on getting things organized here. They've got to switch the scoring a little bit. So Mariah Anderson, who's with the Air Force, is with the Shepherd Air Force Base, originally from Houston, Texas. And then Aaliyah Gould, Fort Carson, originally from Riverside, California. Gould wrestled in college. I believe she was at King University. And a number of the Army wrestlers were major college wrestlers in college on the women's side. As you see women's wrestling grow, the sport's growing at all levels, even here at the Armed Forces Championships. We're going to see some talented athletes, and it's a different style. This is freestyle, which means you can use your entire body. You can touch and use your legs, so you'll be seeing a lot of leg grabbing, as the Greco guys would say, but it's a different pace of a match because the athletes are able to use their entire body for their scoring. As they change the scoreboards, they're going to get this going. Will be 1 second to be able to start the match. Building a bracket, and then here we go. We'll see women's wrestling at the end of each session of this competition. We've got 3 weight classes. 2 weights are going to be best 2 out of 3s, where the wrestlers will compete against each other twice. And if they tie, meaning one gets a victory, the other gets a second victory, they'll go to a third match tomorrow. In the round robin, which is 3 athletes, they'll each wrestle 1 time today. And we'll know the champion in that weight class by the end of the day. It's a possibility all 3 weights could be finished today if we have 2 match sweeps. But this weight class has 2 athletes, Aaliyah Gold of the Army and Mariah Anderson of the Air Force. This is 53 kilograms, which is 116 pounds. Gould often wrestles at 50 kilos, so she might have a little bit of a size disadvantage. But we were able to have each branch bring a few athletes, and we're going to see some good women's wrestling. Got to change the computer equipment here. The scoring is a little different in Greco and Freestyle. In Greco-Roman, it's an 8-point tech fall, where in Freestyle it's 10 points. And so they're adjusting the computer program in order to make that happen. So, yeah, here we go. Aaliyah Gold, Army, against Mariah Anderson of the Air Force. Anderson out of Houston, Texas. Man, wrestling is big in both these states, California and Texas, where these young women came from. You'll see that right now we're up to 39 states that have official high school wrestling championships for girls. So athletes are all over the country are wrestling in women's wrestling. And we see a nice spin behind takedown for Gould. Takes a 2-0 lead. She's going to try to lock up either an ankle lace here by capturing the 2 ankles. A possibility she could also move up to a gut wrench, but her attempt at getting an ankle lace is blocked. So Gould leads 2-0 in the first period. 2-on-1 position for Anderson. Gould was an All-American in college. She gets a front headlock, tries to lock it up so maybe she can get behind again. Grabs the leg, gets the ankle, is doing the spin. Anderson's still holding on to that knee, trying to block that. We get the 2-point takedown, so Gould jumps to 4-0 lead at this point. Let's see if she's got a different approach. She's going for a high gut wrench this time. So she switches to an upper position. Puts the pressure on, but good defense so far by Anderson. Officials bring him back to the mat. It's 4-0 for Gould. These 2 will wrestle again later today, so we'll see who's able to get the first victory in this best of 3. Anderson right now down 4 points. She's going to try to get her first takedown. She's been doing some pretty good upper body wrestling, but is backing up right now. Gould's able, once again, get a front headlock. This has been a winning move for her in this match. She gets her 3rd straight takedown on a spin behind. And we're up 6-0. 44 seconds left in the first period. Gould, she's going to try to, once again, get a turn from the top. Sinks her leg in, brings it back over, but unable to get the turn. And they're back to their feet. Gould leads 6-0 on 3 takedowns. Anderson's got a few seconds left in this period. really would help her if she's able to get a point, even if it's on a step out, just to turn the tide on this match. But again, Gould's able to get her down into that tripod position. Oh, nice little move by Anderson to get out of that front headlock. And no longer does Gould have that position. And ooh, that Gould goes right to the head. 2, 1, they ran out of time. Oh no, clock stopped. No, 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 no. We've got 8-0. They ran out of points, and so that was not a pin. The time ran out, and so 2 points on the turn. Gould has an 8-0 lead. Again, as you know, 8 points is the tech fall in Greco, 10 in freestyle. But Gould did this great move right at the last part of that match to get Anderson in danger. Wasn't able to finish it in time, but now has a strong 8-0 lead. One more takedown for Gould, and we've got a 10-0 tech fold. This is 53 kilograms, 116 pounds, one of the Olympic weight classes. Wrestling's a perfect sport for people in the armed forces. Obviously, having the ability to defend yourself is something that's helpful. These athletes, not only wrestling and competing at a high level, but also serving their nation. It's real inspiring. Spin behind. Gould gets another one, and we have a 10-0 technical fall. And Leah Gould. And we're going to move on to 55 kilograms. This is the weight class with 3 athletes, one from each of the branch teams.
55 kilograms for the Air Force Senior Air versus third class, Ramirez.
So Haley Franich will be competing for the Air Force, and her opponent from the Navy is Jonalika Ramirez. Ramirez for the Navy is at U.S. Coast Guard base, Portsmouth, Virginia. So she's a Coast Guard personnel. She's out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And her opponent, nice 2-point takedown by Franich of the Air Force. Franich is at Little Rock Air Force Base from Puyallup, Washington, just down the street. Man, Franich looks strong. Man, a quick 10-0 tech fall. That was a quick 10-0 tech fall. Haley Franich of the Air Force. We've got Reyna against Ramirez here. It's U.S. Army. Brenda Reyna, that's 62 kilograms. She's based in Fort Carson, Colorado, from Mount Vernon, Washington. And her opponent from the Navy, Genesis Ramirez. She's at NRC Norfolk, Virginia, out of El Paso, Texas. Takedown Reyna. 2-0. Reyna was a national champion in college before she entered Army's world-class athlete program. She competed at McKendree University. What's great about these armed forces teams is, you know, as with Greco-Roman and some freestylers, the athletes that compete often have Olympic goals and dreams. And you know, Reyna's on pace to be somebody who's going to have a great future at the Olympic level. Ramirez obviously out to make a name for herself here, competing at the Armed Forces Championships. Texas has some real tough women's wrestling, so Ramirez is going to come up through a strong system in Texas. Another takedown by Reina. She's working to get an ankle lace where she locks both ankles up and rolls it. There you go. That's 8 points now. We got 2 ankle laces. Did she get her 3 times? Yes, she did. Reina with the 10-0 technical fall, and she takes a 1-match lead in the round robin at 62 kilograms. So this is the first session. We're over. We're going to take a little break before we come back. We're going to have a different stream. So look, not only wherever you're watching this, there'll be a new stream for the second round. USA Wrestling will post that link on its Twitter site. So we'll come back and we're going to see a dual meet between the Army and Greco-Roman and the Air Force. So the team that lost the first duel will go against the Army, which is the highest seed coming in. So we'll take a little break. We got 30 minutes. In a half hour, we're going to be back with some great Greco-Roman wrestling and at least one more women's match. So I look forward to bringing you the rest of today's great Armed Forces wrestling action.